Week 8 of the NFL and Week 9 of college football. I'm a little bit earlier tonight because I got someplace I got to be tomorrow. But I can't escape with that given the football picks for the week. And by the way, I am Rosie, your sports betting picker here. YouTube's one and only trans sports betting analyst and sports betting queen. And we have an interesting week coming up. If you did not see the rants and the wrap up for last week, make sure to go back and check. Wednesdays, I had a lot of things to say about some really funky games and some pretty good games, too, that were the toast of college football in particular. And if you're betting pro football, my condolences to you. It has been all over the map. But ask me, who picked the Panthers against the? How you doing, Queenstown kid? Who was talking up the Panthers against the Packers right here? Who was talking up? Right, the hell, no, the Panther. Who in the hell did this shit? Help me out, Queenstown. The Packers were playing the Washington Commanders, right? And I said, be careful of Green Bay this year. They look like a sticky wicket. Man, they don't even know where their nuts are to grab them anymore this season. And then the Panthers took care of business against Tampa Bay. So what does that mean going forward? It means if you're betting the NFL, I think that you need to have your head examined, because this has been what I term a very lumpy year here in football on the NFL, and it's very hard to get an edge because as the Washington Commanders' victory over the Green Bay Packers shows, on any given Sunday, anything is possible in the NFL. And it's a great way to lose money, but it doesn't mean that I don't have opinions on the games that are coming up this week, and we have some interesting ones, not great ones. I think the marquee matchup is going to be seeing how Green Bay does going into Buffalo. It could be like a ass-ripping kind of day that the Packers fans are never going to forget. Maybe they grab their nuts, stand up, and start playing some football. Who in the hell knows? But I think that defense of the Bills is probably going to make mincemeat of the Green Bay Packers. They could surprise Matt W., but I don't see if the tools are there. I don't see the tools are there, particularly in Orchard Park, New York, where it's very difficult to go in and play in that stadium. Those fans are rabid there. That noise level is super high. I just don't know if Aaron Rodgers feels gutted this season or not. Now, I know people are going to say, Rosie, last year the Chiefs were at the same spot, like 4-3 or whatever, 3-4. They went on to do it. I know. Anything to Tampa Bay was in the same spot. They were lousy. They gelled. They came together. But who in the hell knows? But I'm going to have an opinion on it. So let's get to the NFL odds. I like to use DraftKings for my source on that. So let's get down to it. Tomorrow night we got the Ravens traveling to Tampa Bay. And this is really, really a tight. They've been there. Buffalo has win from Lake Rod. Doesn't have the same one as Camp. Yes. Doesn't have the same wide receivers as Kansas City or Tampa, exactly. The Ravens at Tampa Bay. Will this be a bounce back for Tom Brady? Remember, he went into the locker room last week or so. It's reported after the game, hey, Kale, and lost his shit and screamed out to the whole locker room after the game. Now, this is pro football. This ain't JV. Goes into that locker room and throws his helmet and then throws a chair and says, I gave up my family life for this. Hey, dude, you're the one that wants to hang on by your fingernails for what? I don't know. Meanwhile, the Mannings are up in the booth having the time of their life, screwing around with President Obama, doing commentary, and you can't find your sack on the field. It's a mess. Okay, it is a mess. Ravens will win unless Lamar has a couple of turnovers, which is possible. Because he's had to run more to inspire that game. So I'm going to go with the Ravens on that and take the point. I think they should be able to handle that comfortably in Tampa Bay because I don't think that Tampa Bay defense is all that. Let's go on to the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Does Russell Wilson look like a defeated guy? I just can't really warm up to Denver and what they're going to do the rest of the season. But then again, the Jaguars starting the season 3-0, 4-0, they were an elite team, and they have done nothing but struggle. Hey, how you doing? The Cecil's on fire. What's up, Lucky Beans? Denver's lost 5 games by 1 score or less, but they lost. People could say the same thing about the Ravens last year. When Huntley came in and was quarterback, they were winning or losing game by a point or two because Coach Harbaugh was making shitty decisions to go for the win instead of the tie. And it was costing them dearly game after game after game. A loss is a loss whether you win by 1 score or less or not. In my opinion, that's just the way I see it. So I am going to... I'm going to think that the Jaguars do it at home, 2.5 points. Yeah, just hanging in there. I'm going to go with the Jaguars on that. New England Patriots and the New York Jets. New England 2.5-point dogs. Are you telling me that the Jets are the Jets are a 2.5-point dog to the Patriots at home? Is this a trap game? Am I missing something here? Hello? Am I missing something in this game? The Jets have been gelling and playing like a house of fire. Okay. And for them to be playing at home against the Patriots, who got their asses handed to them by Pittsburgh last week. Or I don't know who it is. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I don't know who in the hell. I think it was Pittsburgh, right? Jets will win unless Zapp and D plays well. I'm just saying. I don't see a situation where... I don't see a situation where the Jets are going to lose this game. I just think they have a lot on the ball. I think the Patriots are reeling. I think the game film showed something to Pittsburgh and some of the other teams studying that. And I think that they have figured out the Patriots and Bill Belichick. He's kind of a known book these days. And I think that might be working against him a little bit. Pittsburgh Steelers at Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles a 10.5-point favorite at home. 10.5 points. 10.5 points is a lot in the NFL. And there's going to be people overreacting to the victory over New England last week. And I happen to think that they'll be overreacting, and they probably put a little too much on the Steelers. But I think that the Eagles at home are going to take care of business. I think that they will cover the spread and I want to be able to enjoy it. I don't know why I haven't grasped it yet. I think it's just being around Sarah. To me, it's fun to look at it from a point of view of a sports bettor. Pittsburgh won't lose by 10.5. Eagles will win. I am going to say that the Steelers are going to lose by probably 2 touchdowns in this game. I think the Eagles are such a well-oiled machine that they're going to be able to run that offense strongly, and they're definitely going to rack up the points. Over-under is 43 on this game. Okay. And I don't think that's going to be on the Steelers side, right? That's going to be Steelers not being able to move the ball effectively. And Philadelphia getting the points. I'm going to be very surprised and eat a plate of crow if the Eagles don't cover this spread on Sunday in the early game. Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions. 2 is still on watch, right? Like, ooh, got to be careful. better be back at right tackle or they won't run it as a jack of all trades. I'm just saying. I have enough confidence in um, Philadelphia that they have enough depth. And at this time of year, it's about depth. They have enough people that can come off of that bench and do the job for them. I have no worry about the Philadelphia Eagles at home taking care of business, covering the spread against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I also happen to think Miami going to Detroit, laying 3.5 points. I don't see any reason that Miami should not take this. What's up, Luce? I don't see any reason that Miami should not take this game here. I think that Detroit is reeling. I'm trying to figure out which end of the football is up, the oblong end, round end, the pointy end. And I just think that they've fallen into that groove. Well, it's another season and we're just fucked up. And that's the way it goes, okay? Arizona Cardinals at Minnesota Vikings at home. Cardinals, you get 3.5 points on that line. I got to go with the Vikings. Vikings have been playing elite ball. And I think Cousins and company is able to move the ball, and the defense is doing great. Yet Detroit is a dumpster fire, man. So what else is new? The place has been on fire for years up there. Right? You get rid of Matthew Stafford, and what do you expect? I don't know. So I'm going to go with the Vikings minus 3.5. Chicago Bears at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys laying 9.5 at home. I've talked about Justin Fields a few times, the quarterback for Chicago. He doesn't have all the great tools that a young Lamar Jackson had for the Ravens. But this kid's starting to show me something. Like, he grew a set, he's grabbing his balls, and he's going out there and he's being the leading rusher on the team. He's finally getting the idea in his head, if we're going to win games, I'm going to have to be the one to do it. I'm going to have to be on the fly, throwing the ball, hitting my tight end, doing whatever I need to do. Forget the deep ball and all that stuff. So I'm just thinking to myself, right, I'm going to circle this game. Matt says, I prayed Dallas would lose, but they probably win. Bears had over 200 yards rushing last week. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that Chicago covers the 9.5 points here. Okay? Well, we said the same thing about Lamar Jackson. This Fields kid needs to bulk up a little bit like Jackson did. All right? I'm just saying. All right, he puts another 20 pounds on, can take a better hit, feel a little more comfortable running. But this kid finally realizes with the Bears he's got, he better run his ass all over the field and get it done, especially on third down conversions, where, let's face it, he's not gold with the ball. Okay. But I think, I got a feeling in my mind that Chicago can cover the spread. Don't know if they'll win. But I'm not comfortable with the way that the Cowboys also are flip-flopping with Dak and all that. I don't know. Okay? I still got some question marks. I like the defense, but I'm still a little bit iffy on the offense. Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons. Man, what the hell happened to my Falcons? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write already wrote to App State about the way they pissed away the James Madison game. You know, hey, Luce is the Swami, Luce 72. Luce 72, remind me to get off a letter to Atlanta tomorrow saying, what the hell happened? I had such high hopes for this season, and they've just been a trip on the Lumpy Express. Up and down and up and down. I don't know who's going to show up. Okay? But in this particular case, against the Carolina Panthers, I don't know if the Panthers got a taste of victory. Maybe they got the bit in their mouth. But they're going into Atlanta to play, and it's not an easy place to play. Okay? So I think I still got to take the Falcons at home. And and lay the 4 points on that. The Raiders and the Saints, maybe the Raiders are doing a little better. 1.5 point dog. Going in to New Orleans. And I'm going to take a shot here. God damn it, Carr. You punk. You punk. You punk bastard. Going into New Orleans. This is it. You're either going to grab your nuts, play football, or else the Raiders are going to piss down their leg on the road and just figure we're no good. We can't tackle. We just give high fives when people are running by. Give a little arm outstretch like we're giving 5 to their leg. Not figuring this. I'm going to take the Raiders here and figure that they can do it up. If they can't, stick a fork in the season. It's done. Tennessee Titans been playing pretty good, laying 2 against the Houston Texans. Texans at home. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans here. They're gelling a little bit. I heard the Cecil's on fire. They're gelling a little bit, and that's what I expect to see here. New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a good game. Oh, Dalton's going to start for the Saints. I'm still gonna favor the Raiders here. They showed me half a nutsack last week, and they're either going to pull it together now or it's going to be another slide down to oblivion. Giants have been playing great. They find a way to win games. Seahawks have been playing good. This is a marquee matchup for the week. And for me, Giants +3 going into Seattle's a tough place to play up there, man. Playing in Seattle is brutal. Playing anything in Washington State is a disaster, okay? But I am telling you guys, right now, this is probably going to be one of those games that one of these teams is going to be deep into the playoffs. Giants, I hope Seattle has a nice crowd advantage, and Jones is really undeniable. Exactly. So as much as I like the Giants, I've got to take the Seahawks at home to get this one done, laying the 3 points. Okay. The Commanders at the Indianapolis Colts. Commanders, 2.5 point dog. Going into Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a tough place to play. Ask the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. When they had a field goal kicker that couldn't kick the side of a barn. All right. No extra points at all. But they're kind of rounding into shape now, but I don't want to get off the point here, the Indianapolis Colts and the Washington Commanders. Washington's kind of got it going on. Yeah, half a nutsack is better than none. But I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to take a shot, and this will be a real test. Colts are pissed off, I know. They're angry as hell, which means they could be mistaken from. The Commanders are coming in with nothing to lose at all. Okay? They're feeling good. They grab their balls. They're not pissing down their leg. They're tackling people, not high-fiving them when they're gone by. Okay? Afraid to tackle the running back or the tight end coming through. Ooh, he's too big for me. I'm not going to tackle him. I'll just do a little fake dive for the coach and the tape afterward. I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Commanders here. 49ers at the Rams. What a lame-ass game. I had such high hopes for the Niners. They are so injured right now. And I'm sorry, you need superior tools around Jimmy Garoppolo to win. Right now, he does not have the superior tools around him to win. And I see a game of frustration coming up. And I think it's going to be a very tough game for the Niners. I think the Rams in SoFi Stadium have a good chance to take this game. But the 49ers defense is still pretty hard hitting and pretty damn good. Yeah, Rams need a running game really bad. But I think I'm going to take the Rams plus 1.5 at home. Now we got the feature game, the Green Bay Packers at the Buffalo Bills. The Packers are laying 11 points going into Orchard Park, New York. Is this a trap game? Sometimes I wonder. I mean, we know that Buffalo is the cock of the walk in the AFC. We know that the Green Bay Packers, hey Darla, have been a dumpster fire the last couple weeks. Aaron Rodgers is aged 10 years in 3 weeks. He's pissed off. He hates the world. That is two limbs. I don't know. But I'm saying this, Green Bay Packers getting 11 points at Buffalo. I am going to go out on a limb here and tell you this. Buffalo is going to kick the living shit out of Green Bay. I'm going to go on record now. I might eat the crow or the raven. I think that this is going to be one of the worst defeats in Packers history coming up. That's how I feel that they have zero offense now. When your quarterback is complaining about the lack of weapons that he has, and you have the premier quarterback in the AFC out there doing it up with his core receivers and a good defense, the only team that's really gone toe-to-toe and shouldn't have pissed the game away was the Baltimore Ravens with the Buffalo Bills, but they pissed the game away. All right. Packers are nowhere near that level right now, and I think this is going to be the game that creates change within the Packer organization and gets them looking ahead to stick a fork in it this year is done. Best quarterback in the league, calm, cool under pressure, can move the ball. 2-minute drills are beautiful. Right? And the Packers are a dumpster fire right now. And I think that this game will further cement their dumpster fire-ishness going forward. Okay? All right, so yeah, then they got the Monday Night Football. The Bengals at the Clowns. I don't really have an idea at that. I think that the Bengals can do it up with Cleveland at Cleveland laying 3.5 points. I don't see a big issue with that. Let's get on to college football now, okay? I think you got to have your head examined if you've been. I don't know anybody that's been doing it up. That's demonstrably proven to me that they're doing well in the NFL betting this year. I know guys have had blown parlay cards left, right, and center. All right. The everything is all parity this year on any given Sunday. Okay. So who's making money on NFL? The books are cleaning up this year. Hate to say it, but they are cleaning up. Let's get over to college football here, which I enjoy a lot more. Melted cheese, the Packers. All right, here we go. And we were 7-11 last week, so it's been kind of a fight. We're down 2 units in the last 3 weeks. Let's see if we can crawl out of it this week. Seems like we're good with the early games on Thursday, Friday. Then we just really fuck up the morning games on Saturday. We start to get good in the afternoon, and then we are freaking gold at nighttime, which means we're doing better on Pac-12, some of the West Coast games. So let's get to it. Virginia Tech at North Carolina. Virginia Tech getting 13.5 points against North Carolina. How do you feel? We're going to get to Ohio State University and Penn State. Virginia Tech, the Hokies have had a really kind of disappointed. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, Kale. Hokies have been little disappointing. They're going into North Carolina. It's going to be a tall order there. Okay, and they're getting 13 and a half points against North Carolina State. I don't think North Carolina State has been that great of shakes this year. Sorry. Wolfpack was really, really kind of shaky looking. Looking this really kind of shaky looking. All right. I haven't liked the way that they have performed this year. I think Virginia Tech has a chance to cover this 13 and a half points here in this game. I don't think Virginia Tech's going to be run over. I don't think that they're going to be moving the ball like crazy, but I think that they can. I think that they can hang in there with North Carolina State. Against North Carolina, I'd have a little more issue. Okay, but against NC State, I think they can do it up. Louisiana, Southern Mississippi, who cares? Utah and Washington. Utah laying 7 points going into the Washington State. I really like the Cougars, Washington State. They're a good team. But then again, Utah showed they grabbed their nuts against USC and they pulled that game out. Maybe rescued their year. I don't know. They gave a damn good showing against USC. Now, I know they're going up to Corvallis, Washington to play. And it's going to be a tough road to hoe. Utah's not as good on the road as they are in the comfortable confines of Utah down there. But I'm still going to go with Utah, laying the 7 points. I don't have it bet. Okay, but that's the way it's at. East Carolina at BYU. East Carolina is getting three points. Let me consult the good book here. East Carolina. Let me double check this. Son of a bitch. Where in the hell is that? UCF was a 5-point favorite to ECU. And UCF is a pretty decent team. And ECU, East Carolina University, beat the hell out of them on offense and defense on both sides. BYU went down the toilet. So I have bet East Carolina taking the 3 points. Thank you. Going to Provo to play BYU at home. It's going to be a hell of a shocker for BYU at home if they get pasted in this game. But then again, every game for them has been like a dumpster fire this year anyway, right? Louisiana Tech, Florida International University, who in the hell cares? Ohio State laying 15 and a half points playing at the whiteout in Penn State, in State College, Pennsylvania. Now, let's talk about this game. What did I see last week against Penn State? Well, I didn't like Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, that much. It was very easy for me to pick the Penn State to go ahead and whomp them, and they did. But in this particular game, with the way that Ohio State has been playing, I just think that they're a superior football team. Okay. I think that they're a superior football team. I'm looking back on some of my notes. Yeah, against Minnesota, they were a 4.5-point favorite, and they ended up just whomping them in there. But then, Michigan beat the hell out of Penn State at Michigan. Okay? I don't want to triangulate too much on this. I don't want to play too much of the transitive property. If this team beat this team and now this team is playing that team, then this team should be able to beat that team. But I don't see any reason, and I've taken Ohio State and laid the 15 and a half points against Penn State because I don't see any way that Penn State keeps this game viable or close. I just think that their offense is going to be very challenged moving the ball against the Ohio State defense. Okay? They're not Tennessee going in there. All right, they're not Oregon going in there. They're going to have some difficulty, I think, moving the ball. I don't care if it's in State College, Pennsylvania. This will be a big statement game. I might end up beating Crow. It might come 10 points, might come 12 points, something like that. It doesn't matter about matchups. It's about the matchups that are coming, not the ones that were happening. But I don't see a good matchup between Penn State, even though they got the 10-year redshirt quarterback that's been there forever. Right, 30-year-old or whatever, still chucking the ball. I just don't see it happening up there. So I've got to take Ohio State and lay the points. Notre Dame at Syracuse, 2.5 points. I've been real floppy on Syracuse this year. And we got a Notre Dame team that, yeah, they kind of lost to, you know, they've had a tough go with things. I guess Syracuse has been a little more. They're playing at home in Syracuse, and it's a hard place to win if you're coming into Syracuse. So I have to take Syracuse in this situation. Laying the 2.5 points against Notre Dame coming in. TCU in West Virginia. Why do people hate my TCU? Why do people cheer against TCU? Why do people at Kansas hate TCU? And the people at Oklahoma State, why do they hate TCU? Because TCU grabs them every week, comes out, and does not give up. Dugan, the quarterback or whatever, they're an amazing team. There's not a bit of give in this team. I don't care if they're down 21 points in the fourth quarter. They're going to find a way to win the game. And I just have a hard time to believe, even though they're going into Morgantown to play West Virginia, at Morgantown, West Virginia's home, I don't see any way on God's green earth that TCU should not take this, lay these 7.5 points with no problem at all. JT Daniels, West Virginia's been a dumpster fire. Okay, I've been on TCU. You know, Luce, we have ridden the TCU train every single week. And we have cashed, hey Barry, and we have cashed and we have cashed. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, if you're watching. We have cashed, we have cashed, we have cashed. Okay? There's just certain teams that are just destined to win games. Okay, TCU is one of those. Could they win a national championship? I don't know. But I get to keep watching them going forward and play. We have, absolutely, the Swami Loose 72. We have been on TCU continuously. We're going to stick on them. We're going to lay the 7.5 points going into Morgantown. Arkansas and Auburn. Arkansas laying 3.5 points. Auburn getting 3.5 points at home. God, that Auburn game against Alabama was it Georgia or Alabama? That was such a mess. That was such a mess. That quarterback, I can't think of his name now for Auburn. This kid was frustrated, smashing his helmets. Because you're playing a good defensive team. You're not going to get the cheap 5 and out, right, down and out play. Yeah, TCU's going to get to the playoffs. Very interesting here. Then Auburn turns around last week and gives a pretty good account of themselves. But I don't see any reason that Arkansas should not be able to win this game. So I got to kind of roll with that. Georgia Tech and Florida State. Georgia Tech getting 24 points going into Florida State. Ooh. Georgia State could not move the ball. They cost me last week. Did I have Georgia State or Georgia Southern? There's so damn many. I had Georgia Southern. I didn't have Georgia State. I don't know. Um, but Georgia Tech going down to Florida, play Florida. That's a lot of points, 24 points. Georgia Tech did not move the ball very effectively. Yeah, we had them laying 3.5 points against Virginia, and they lost. Okay, I just think 24 points is a bit too much in this situation. So I would be apt to take Georgia Tech and the 24 points. Oklahoma and Iowa State, I don't care about it. Pick it either way. South Florida, Houston. Houston's been playing really pretty well lately. Boston College, UConn. Yay, big weekend. Toledo at Eastern Michigan. Toledo was another team that I had been backing like crazy, and they're doing good. They're up in 10 points with 5 or 8 minutes to go in the game, and they pissed down their leg against Buffalo, and they lost. They pissed it away. Okay. Now, they're playing Eastern Michigan, who's been no great shakes this year. But I have a feeling that Toledo is, they might be questioning themselves. They crashed. They definitely crashed, and I don't see them pulling out in Eastern Michigan this weekend. Take Eastern Michigan, you get 6.5 points with Toledo coming to town. Miami and Virginia, I don't really care. Charlotte and Rice. Old Dominion and Georgia State. I don't know. I don't know. It's lousy. Florida and Georgia. Florida, you're getting 22.5 points against Georgia. Florida going into Georgia to play is it's a tall order. It's a tall order. Are they the best team that's faced Georgia this year? I don't know. I do go on a limb. But I'm going to continue to take Georgia because I think Florida is a paper tiger this year. Oregon and California. Rosie knows Pac-12. I had the displeasure of seeing Stanford who were they playing last week? Get this shit right. Washington Huskies, 7.5 points, and they win by 7 points. Okay. Against Cal, and Cal kind of surprised me. Okay, in that game. Now, Oregon, you guys know the way I feel about Oregon. I hated Bo Nix. I confess to Luce, the Swami, at the beginning of the year. I said, man, I hate this kid. This kid came in on the portal, and they played in Georgia, and they got their asses kicked so bad. And I'm like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be another JT Daniels dumpster fire. This kid has made a believer out of me. This kid, 6 feet 4 inches tall. He's got to be 220 pounds. He's the kind of quarterback that you're going to be a little fearful to tackle if you're a safety or a cornerback or even a linebacker. This guy can run the ball. This guy's accuracy is pinpoint. Hello, futures. Risk a little, win a lot. Oregon coming into Strawberry Canyon in Cal this weekend, doing it up for the game. And I think Oregon is just, you're laying 17 points with Oregon. I don't see how Cal runs with Oregon. I've seen Oregon in too many close competitive games, and they have just pulled rabbits out of their ass. And every week they get better and better and better. Okay. I think Cal Bears, my team, is the kind of animal that you feast on this week. And I think that Bo Nix is going to put on an exhibition down in Strawberry Canyon. I know you got the home cow. Da, da, do, 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, it's gonna be exhibition time. I took Oregon and I'm laying the points and I'm sleeping at night. Okay, so y'all can take that for what that's ever's worth. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Let me see this game. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. I have. Let me see if we can double check this here. I definitely got to roll with Oklahoma, and I'm getting 1.5 points to go into K State. I've not been that impressed with K-State. Okay. I think Oklahoma, 1.5 point dog going into K-State is a gift. You want to talk about somebody, a team that's still pissed off from their loss to TCU? It's going to be a Newt Rockne Saturday. And boys, we're going to go out there and show them what Oklahoma State is made of. Don't let me down. This might be my last game in college football. Don't send the coach out. Make the coach a winner. Carry me out on your shoulders at the end of the game. I'm sorry. Oklahoma State's a damn good team. Okay, they can move the ball. Their defense isn't the best, but their offense is pretty damn good. And they played under pressure with the TCU game. They did not fold up there. I've got to take Oklahoma State, and I'm getting 1.5, and I'm happier than a clam in the bottom of the bay there. Wake Forest, Louisville, who cares? Illinois and Nebraska. Ooh. But I don't know. Yeah, we took it. I did this in a different way. Illinois is going to Nebraska. You know, Illinois has been a damn good team. All right, great defense. In this game in Illinois and Nebraska, I don't think Nebraska is going to be the one putting up the points. Okay, sue me. All right. Sue me. I'm better on spreads than over-unders. But I'm taking Illinois and Nebraska, the under 50.5 right now. Because Illinois doesn't go into games that have a lot of points. And that's just the way it is. Okay? And Nebraska's not the team that's going to put it up on. All right? Illinois is the cock of the walk. All right? And they have pride. They want to do it up in the big. They want to maintain their top rating there. They're not going to lose to Nebraska. Okay. Even though they're playing in Nebraska, it's like a home game. Cincinnati at UCF. Cincinnati as a 2-point dog to UCF. Just let that sink in a minute. Okay. Has Cincinnati been nothing but a quality football team this year? Have they done something to break your trust and confidence in them? Did UCF just light a dumpster fire against ECU? I don't want to triangulate, but you're really going to give me 2 points? Now, I know Going into UCF is a tough place to play. I know it. But Cincinnati's gone into a lot of tough places to play, and they win games. They're just consistently tough. They're like a little brother TCU. Grab your nuts, go in, and win. Yeah, Nebraska needs a ton of work, exactly. Okay, gonna give them a chance, but I'll tell you what, Cincinnati and UCF got to go with Cincinnati on that. Okay, is it a trap game? I'm a little nervous. Like, what do they see at Pinnacle and Chris that I don't see? What are they seeing that I don't see? I'm just telling you, Loose the Swami. I smell a rat in this game. I think that somebody's got some inside information. Something ain't right in this line. This line has steamed from Cincinnati laying a point to Cincinnati now getting 2 points. Jesus, I hope I don't get egg on my face with this game. Northwestern and Iowa, who in the hell cares? Temple, Navy, who cares? North Texas, Western Kentucky. All right. SMU, I don't care. New Mexico, I don't care. Missouri and South Carolina. Missouri, you're getting 4 points to go in. South Carolina, you're laying 4 points at home. Here's my deal. Anybody that saw the Texas A&M game against the Gamecocks, against South Carolina, witnessed a first quarter meltdown. Yeah, look at that games tomorrow. Texas A&M was a disaster. Now they got an all-freshman offensive line. Okay. I'd hate to be on an offensive line as a freshman and see 5-year red shirt like it's like your worst nightmare. It's like your worst nightmare. You know, the second string centers throwing the ball off the quarterback's leg. God, what a disaster. We're literally down 21 points like that. But I'm going to tell you something happened. Texas A&M got their shit together a little bit, and they clamped down, they grabbed their nuts, and they went out and started playing football. And I don't know, Luce, what the final score was. Okay. But it wasn't disrespectful at the end. Okay. I'm still not a believer in Rattlecock or whatever the hell his name is, Gamecock, Rattlecock, whatever the cock he is, the quarterback like being hit by a jump truck. How you doing, Julie? Missouri has been hanging tough, under the radar screen. Okay. The hell's the guy's name? Well, help me out, Luce. What's a Shizzlecock or Cock Shizzle? What the hell's the guy's name? Rattler? Rattler. He's feeling a little full of himself because he beat Texas A&M. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on. I'm triangulating a little bit here, Luce. I'm saying A&M held it together. Spencer Rattler, yeah. A&M held it together a little bit and at least played a respectable second and a half. Missouri's coming in, I think, as a pretty decent together team. I'm taking the 4 points, and I think Missouri's got a chance to do it up. I don't think they're going to be as weak a showing when they start out as Texas A&M was on that. Am I going to be eating crow? Probably. Will it be the last time? No. Okay. But you make money in football by going out on a limb, and occasionally the limb you saw off on yourself. That's the way it goes. South Alabama, Arkansas State, who cares? Kentucky at Tennessee. Kentucky getting 12 points going into Tennessee. You like the way Kentucky is played? You like the way Tennessee's played? 12 points is a lot of points. But I'll tell you what, Tennessee's pointed toward this game after the Martin game. All right, rested. Guys got a lot of rest. Get some other guys, get some play time and stuff. I just don't see any way. Texas knows that they cannot, Tennessee knows they cannot afford to lose a game. Because the tough schedule, we've been on Tennessee every game, Luce, and we have cashed every single time. We even cashed on Alabama, dude. Alabama. I don't think Kentucky is on the same plane as Tennessee. I gotta lay the 12 points, take Tennessee at home to do whatever it takes to win. Just don't get injured. Okay. USC and Arizona. USC laying 15 points going into Arizona. Again, I'm laying big points here. All right. Arizona hasn't showed me that much. Okay. USC knows after that brutal game that they had against Utah, which was ugly. They should have won. Stupid referee. I mean, dumb shit. I'm saying, what the hell? What? You know, giving extra time on just stupid stuff that you didn't imagine you would ever see in a football game, and you're seeing it. If USC played Utah at Utah again, USC would probably win. Okay. They're a team that learns a lot from their losses, and they don't think that they lost that game. They do not believe that they lost that game. I've got to take USC. I got to lay the points going into Arizona, because I don't think Arizona is going to be that fired up to be in the stands. They don't give a shit. If it was Arizona State, I'd be like, I don't know, you know. Their fans are like animals. I don't know. They might torch the seats in place. I got no idea. Arizona, yeah, style points matter. Guys, I got to go with C. I got to go with SC here. I mean, they've just been a quality team. They knew that nobody plays well in Utah. Students don't drink. They don't smoke. All they can do for relief is go to the stadium and cheer like crazy, which they do. There's no dorm parties. There's no frat parties. What are you going to do? I guess we'll go to the football game. And they all go. Right? I mean, it's the only game in town. It's not like you're going to go ahead and get laid. I mean, that's it. So playing in Utah is a bitch. We know that. Playing the Utes at home is a tall order. Georgia would have a problem. Ohio State would have a problem. I'd love to see one of these conference teams go over into play in Utah or Oregon. Might be a real eye opener for them. Okay. So I'm taking USC to get the job done. Colorado State and Boise State. You know, Boise State's been playing great. They made money for me last week. I don't really care. 27 points. Colorado, you're getting 27 points. I just don't, I don't know. I just don't know. Colorado beat Cal. I'm just not feeling it on that. Central Carolina, Marshall, who cares? Let's see. What else? I didn't take Ole Miss and Texas A&M because Ole Miss got caught with their drawers down, and I don't know how it's going to turn out for them. Let's talk about took TCU, West Virginia under 69 points. Illinois, Nebraska under 50 and a half, and East Carolina and BYU under 62. Okay, and that's about Stanford at UCLA. I did not put a bet on that this week. Laying entirely too many points with UCLA at home. Not comfortable with that. San Diego State, Fresno State, I don't really care. And I don't really care about anything else on there either. I think that's about it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just recap what we got here for the week, the bets. East Carolina taking the 3 points in Provo against BYU. Ohio State taking Ohio State laying the 15 and a half points against Penn State at State College, Pennsylvania in the whiteout. TCU laying the points against West Virginia. Oregon State Oregon laying the points against Cal in Berkeley. Oklahoma State getting the points there, which I'll never figure out. Cincinnati taking the points there versus UCF, which really scares me. I don't like freebies. I don't like trap games. Missouri taking the points against South Carolina. Tennessee laying the points there against Kentucky. USC laying the points against Arizona. We got East Carolina, BYU under 62 and a half points. TCU and West Virginia under 69. You really think that West Virginia is going to smoke up the points on that? They're not Oklahoma State. They're not Kansas. It's West Virginia. And finally, Illinois and Nebraska under 50 and a half. I just don't see Nebraska having a lot to move the ball. The Nebraska defense might keep it semi-respectable, but this is a must-win game for Illinois. That is a wrap. Guys, it's been about 1 hour here of the picks I've got going on for the week, the way I feel about the NFL and the NCAA. I will reiterate at the end here, thank you, Queenstown Kid. I think beating pro football is brutal. Okay, brutal. And I think it's never going to be an easy deal to be a consistent moneymaker. I feel different about college football. I find it much more enjoyable. I find the games more exciting because to me it's going back to old school in the 60s and 70s when you had the bands, you had the cheering, you had people that were genuinely excited to play football. So much has been knocked out of the pro game with the money, the referee, right? The ridiculous penalty calling. The way that we have the concussion protocols and things, it's losing a little bit of its luster. I really believe that it is, and I think it's very, very important that the in New York City at NFL headquarters on Park Avenue, that they really take a hard look at the game, because I think people this year are enjoying college football more than they're enjoying the NFL. All right, guys, on that note, please hit the thumbs up button on the way out. I will see you again Wednesday night for our usual wrap here, when we do the rants and rap, the things that broke my heart, the things that pissed me off, and the things that made me piss down my leg. Thanks for watching.